Hi, welcome to my channel, Psychic Kathleen. I'm going to continue today with more of the same, discussing a client who's come to see me with some thoughts and issues and ideas and questions. I draw some cards, and of course parts of that is a reading, and some of it I draw cards randomly in answer to the question. So my readings are really very fluid. They're not formal. Some readers will take in a question like, is this relationship going to work out in the future? And they will lay out what's called a pattern or a layout, addressing different aspects of the issue with a sort of past, present, and outcome type of direction. And I do some of that. I have very small layout patterns that I use, but typically I'm drawing cards throughout the reading, asking the cards to make a comment on that question. And I put that information in conjunction with what my intuitions and feelings are. So the client that came today, she is a long-term client. We've met a few times before, and her questions were varied: work, relationship, children. She also is a couple of years from retirement. She presently does work for the government, and as many people do in this city. And one of her questions was about work and what kind of changes I'd see coming ahead for her work over the next year. And there was a number of aspects in response to that, which some of it was good news, of course, and some of it not so good news. So one of the cards was the Nine of Wands, which again is kind of a hard-working card, and you can see there's a bandage that the character in the card has across their head, meaning working hard, being exhausted, still enough energy for one more fight left in them, but overall feeling rather tired. So I said there are changes coming to your work over the next year, and this is likely to lead to the Page of Wands, which is right after the 9. There's the 9 and the 10 page, and that's wanting to go to take her work to a different level. So she said, it probably means I'll be changing departments. And I said, yes, that's very likely. And she said, in fact, I've been thinking that I may have to move. And I said, yes, my intuition tells me that you will want to move. There's more opportunity you find in another city. And that came up, the Page of Cups, which is like messages or a new piece, pages are young, and pages normally refer to messages. So this would be like a young message or a new message that will be coming in late fall, which, because you can see the page sort of holding a cup here with a little bird sort of chirping at the character from the cup. This symbolizes, of course, a message which is very welcomed, one that inspires good feelings because it's cups. And so yes, I said it's very likely that you will hear about an opportunity that really appeals to you, I would say before year's end. And will we move? My intuition had said yes, and Temperance said yes, that you'll be making that happen. Because Temperance is pulling opposites together to make something new. So it would definitely suggest that she'll be moving in the future. And she had just bought a new house, and she was saying, oh no, I've just moved earlier this year into a new house. I said, well, I think you'll be renting out that house, and I don't think that's going to be difficult for you to do. And she said, no, I was thinking the very same thing, because we are allowed to rent out those units if we want to. So then we shifted direction, and we started then talking about her children and how they were doing. They were doing very well. She has a daughter in another city who just got married. She said, do you think she's happy? And that came up, the 9 of Cups, which you can see looking at the character in the card, very happy and content and blissful. So I said, clearly she's very happy in this marriage. And she said she also is very, very busy with working on a master's degree and teaching, and newly married. And that came up, the 4 of Cups, which is like, it's okay. Cups is like happiness, but 4 is like structure. So she'd really like to be happy in her life, because it is full and it's rich with everything she loves, but it's incredibly busy. So she wouldn't mind if it slowed down a bit, which she agreed to. So we talked about all her children. Her children are all doing very well, which is a tremendous relief for any parent. I said, I don't see any trouble on the horizon for any one of your children, and you're very fortunate that they're all happy with what they're doing and healthy. And it's a whole area of your life that you don't have anything to worry about. So we switched direction again, and she wanted to know if she should take her ex to court, because their prior arrangements for child support and so on had been very poorly, and she wanted to know if this would be really worth her while. And that came up, the Justice card. Now, when the Justice card comes up, it usually suggests a positive outcome. It means if you're going to be going to court and the Justice card comes up, that's like, yes, you're very likely to win. So it had answered her question so definitively. I said, yes, take him to court. It will be worth it. And then she asked if, should I use the same lawyer that I used before, because frankly, he wasn't that great. He didn't get me really a proper settlement. He wanted to settle very fast, and she said, should I get a new lawyer? And that came up, the King of Wands, and I said, yes, you should definitely change lawyers. There is a lawyer who specializes in cases like yours, people who want to revisit child support and property arrangements in divorce and separation. So I said, yes, definitely, you should seek this lawyer. So she's off to do that. She asked if things would work out okay in terms of her daughter going to live with her ex, which was in the plans coming up in the next year. And that had answered the 5 of Swords, which is the conflict card. And I said, highly unlikely that she'll stay long in his house. She may be there a few months, but unlikely that she'll be there much longer than that. So we covered a lot of territory together in this reading. It's always a pleasure to work with this client. She's very responsive. She's enthusiastic. She knows the tarot and astrology a little bit. And that's always a pleasure to work with clients who are familiar with the tool and the process. So thank you once again for joining me here today. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel below, and click the notification bell beside that so you'll receive a notification in your email inbox when I've uploaded a new video, which I aim to do weekly. And I plan to continue on with this project, hoping to teach you how the tarot works, what a reading is like, what sorts of issues, problems, questions people bring to a tarot reader, and what it's like to be a tarot reader. So thank you once again for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you here again soon. Bye for now.